Celtics will rest easy tonight too.
We rested easy. None of us watched any of the last three quarters.
The Nets will rest in peace.
Yeah. And
they got murdered.
Oh, that's tough. It's been a hard day for many of us, Jimmy Toscano especially, who spent most of the day crying in his pillow.
Talk about this. I was late for work today
because of the Tom Brady news, but we were able to pull it together. You know, be men, show up, watch this game, and here to bring you some analysis of a game. I don't know what to say about it, Sherrod. I'll start with you. I mean,
why'd you do it, Tom?
It was over. It was over in. I know you didn't have to, Tom. It was over in like 6 minutes.
If that, and you're being generous in giving him 6 minutes.
It's incredible. It was over in 5 or 6 minutes.
The basket that told me that this was a wrap. When Jaylen Brown comes down, there's a behind-the-back crossover, step back, three-pointer in front of Kyrie, and I'm like, he just Kyrie. It's going to be that kind of game.
The Celtics,
never got any better. It never got any better for Brooklyn at that point.
The best thing about it, the Celtics started the game on a 14-3 run, and Brooklyn called timeout. Okay? And coming off that timeout, the Celtics went on a 13-1 run. And that was it. 27-4.
Adjustments.
Lights out.
And Joe Mazzulla is thinking, see, this is why I don't do that. This is why. Damn it. Get off my back about timeouts.
Like if you hit like a little bit of traffic coming in this game tonight, like you sat down in your seat and the game was essentially over. Like you missed.
You just might have thought about going back home. If you were on your way here and you got here, you were on track to get here near the end of the first quarter, you might not have got to the arena.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. Just hit the left, then another left, then another left, and head home.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, but it's nice to be on the right side of it, I guess. You know, it could be a lot worse, I guess, if you did go to the game. You didn't want to show up down 26-4 or whatever it was. So that was just a ridiculous first quarter. I mean, even the broadcasters were straight up laughing about it. The Celtics literally could not miss three-pointers in that first quarter, whether it was Tatum or Brown. Guys set the tone early on, and then hell, John and Sherrod, you guys could have subbed in there in the second half, and I think they would have pulled this one off. But the role players, did what they needed to do to keep that lead. It's not crazy to blow a 20-point lead in the NBA. So you got to give the Celtics credit for just building it and just keeping their foot on these guys' chest. Now the Nets didn't have Durant. Obviously we have to mention that. That's I guess not even worth mentioning.
But we didn't have Smart.
Right.
That's fair, right, guys?
Point being, they don't have enough.
Somebody out there thinking.
Jimmy, here's the thing.
No Simmons to laugh at.
I'm sorry, but you should not. I don't care who you're missing. At some point, pride has to kick in, and that pride must have just not got off the bus when they pulled up the TD guard because you do not get your ass kicked like this, regardless of who you have on the floor. They didn't compete. I didn't think the Celtics played a great game. They just made open shots.
I mean, they played with pace, which is good. But they made all their shots. They made all their shots.
There was nothing special or significant what they did. They made all their shots. There was nothing this wasn't like they played with great effort and they were doing all these amazing things. They just played their game.
Yeah.
Make miss league. Well, I mean, almost, what was it, 58% from the field? Yeah. I mean, geez, almost 50% from three, and that's off 54 mix. I mean, they almost had an NBA record for three-pointers tonight. I mean, that's how often the shots were falling tonight. So, this is one of those. This was like, I think Bobby texted it. It's reminiscent of like the start of the year when they were just blowing teams out and falling for them. I'm not saying that here they are again, but it was a nice break from some of the games you've seen recently when they've been extremely cold. So it's good. Take it. Coming in, good to get a couple of big wins headed into the All-Star break. You want to go into that break on the right note, certainly. You don't want to be going in. And also with the trade deadline coming up here, there's a lot of guys that I'm sure are checking the sports ticker, if that still exists, and on Twitter, looking for their names in the rumor mills. So it's good that they can focus on just winning games right now.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. And again, I here, everyone's going to pile on me for putting it out there, but I'm coming off of what Sherrod said. They didn't do anything special. I do think they played with more pace and energy. I think the 3 days off showed. I think there was jump in their step. I think their defense was actually really, really, really tough. And it's almost that the combination was ridiculous. They were playing really good D and forcing the Nets into not great shots in that first quarter, and they hit freaking everything, and that's why the game was literally over in 5 minutes. So they brought energy early, but again, shots falling is great. Dirk put it in the chat here, like, hey, when we make threes, we're unbeatable, or they're unbeatable. But that's the problem is it's an almost dead split. The first half of the season made a ridiculous amount of threes. Second 25 games or so, awful from three, like bottom 3 or 4 in the league. So again, you see them doing what they did tonight, and it looks like early in the season, like they can do no wrong, man. They just friggin' work and get good shots, and they're just killing people. And to have a night like this makes you feel good again. But how sustainable is it? Where, in the live by the 3, die by the 3 sort of thing, because they have not been living by the 3, at least not doing great with it.
No, they haven't. I mean, this was just a smart played game by the Celtics. They didn't do it. They didn't try to do anything fancy. They didn't try to do anything that was outside of who they are. And the result is an easy-ass win. And Brooklyn put up no fight. That was the thing that surprised me.
Not at all. No resistance. Yeah.
No, and that's surprising. I mean, because that seems to be the one difference between Jacques Vaughn coach Brooklyn team and the Steve Nash coach team. It was surprising and in many respects disappointing, because I was hoping this would be a little bit more competitive than this. I mean, the outcome is what I expected, but not this decisive.
Yeah. The one play that stood out to me, and I can't remember when it was, might have been early in the third quarter. And again, the game's already over, somewhere in the third, where there was a tipped ball and it goes into the backcourt, and Brogdon goes back to collect it, and he jogs past half court with the 10 seconds left to go in the shot clock, and then he just kind of keeps going in a straight line, walks all the way into the lane and hits a floater, and nobody got in his way. Like, at that point, you got the guys on the ropes, put some pressure on him crossing half court, get him out of their rhythm, make him take a difficult shot. They literally allowed Brogdon to walk back almost all the way to his own basket and then just jog in and just shoot a little floater uncontested, and not one person ever closed on him. Just emblematic of how little effort Brooklyn put into this game. And again, they really obviously had all of their spirit, and all of their, kind of will snapped in the first 6 minutes there. I mean, you go down 30 in the first quarter, that's it. Game, set, match. So, I mean, but there wasn't much resistance at any point in time from them. There no fight at all.